Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our AI in Retail and Customer Experience Conference. My name is Nzele Ndlovu. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you. We have got an exciting lineup of speakers from all over the world. And we're going to look at how artificial intelligence is transforming the retail industry. And of course, we have got some useful, I'll say, use cases of AI in the retail industry that is going to be showcased by an inspiring lineup of speakers. So this is how we're going to proceed today. We're going to start with a few presentations, 4 presentations, one after the other. And immediately after the presentations, we're going to go to a panel discussion where we're going to look at artificial intelligence and the future of retail. Now, our first speaker is going to take us through personalization. And maybe before I introduce our first speaker, please feel free to use the icons on the right of your panel, the chat, and if you have got questions during the presentations, feel free to ask the questions. We'll attend to them. Now, without taking much time, I will introduce our first speaker. And our first speaker is Tommi Loeffler. He is the specialist and trusted advisor for GKAIR, or Artificial Intelligence for Retail. He's also known as Mr. Personalization. And he's going to take us through dynamic pricing and personalization in retail. Tommi, welcome to the event, and we look forward to the presentation from your side. If you're ready,
thank you.
You can share your screen and we get going.
Thank you, Nzele. So let me show that I will give you a presentation.
Okay.
So you see something?
Not the present. Okay, yeah, something. I see something now.
Now we got it.
Yeah, all good.
Great. Then I will take my 20 minutes and show you a little bit of our artificial intelligence for retail, as Nzele introduced. So thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm pleased to present here before you today. My name is Tommi Loeffler, aka Mr. Personalization, and I'm a client solution executive at the AI division at GK. Today, I will give you an overview of our AIR solutions. AIR stands for Artificial Intelligence for Retail, and it's our cloud-based platform with ready-to-use AI applications for smart retail. AIR helps retailers to achieve their goals. Powerful self-learning algorithms and real-time decision support system bridge the gap between decision makers and the daily business. We have different solutions which work with AI, but today I'm going to focus on giving you an introduction into our world of personalization and also what we do in the area of dynamic pricing. Thus, AI can be a complex topic, and especially the integration in IT and the business architecture is crucial for project success. So feel free to take today as an introduction, and if you have questions, we can have a follow-up and get into a deep dive, and also to discuss the technical questions. So AIR is a spin-off from the TU Chemnitz in Germany and has been in the market for now over 20 years. From the beginning, our solutions have grown with the challenges of our customers, which led to the development of a recommendation solution, and a few years later, our dynamic pricing. So Here you can see some of our main AI customers from all industries. So you see fashion, you see DIY, pharmacy, consumer electronics, and grocery. So it is important to mention that these customers are not only from B2C, but partly from B2B as well. So we will start with aerodynamic pricing. The motivation for price optimization is very clear: to exploit as much as possible of your earnings potential, because your price level has a huge impact on your business figures. So we will first start to talk what is dynamic pricing, and I also have 2 slides to show you what our customers do with it. So I always say I will show you how do we see dynamic pricing and how we live it. So our aerodynamic pricing is not a pure repricing or only a rural pricing, but it's demand driven. So you can say it's tailored to your customers. And with a huge number of items, it is difficult to keep track of each item and price it specifically. So automation effects of the solution reduce manual effort and also allows pricing managers to focus on strategic decisions and also your focus items. The goal is to improve all the 3 KPIs mentioned here: the revenue, margin, and also the shopping frequency. And not only to increase prices. We know when and which prices should be increased specifically in order to at least increase the margin while maintaining the same revenue, but even better, to increase margin and sales, your sales. In addition to the demand, your existing business rules are, of course, taken into account to achieve your set strategies and goals. For example, for the business rules, we talk about rounding rules, we talk about competitive pricing, weather data, and much more. So our pricing has been, as I mentioned, co-developed with our existing customers on creating an intuitive web GUI and enabling quick integration of the solution. And this helps new users to get up to speed quickly and enables us to achieve a fast go live phase for you. So everything aligned with your processes. Automated pricing, or in synergy with your pricing manager, it's called semi-automated. For example, we start with a proof of concept, a POC, and it started semi-automated until you have the, let's call it, confidence in the AI and also in our project team. This is very important. After that, you can move to a fully automated processes when they are major. In most current projects, both variants are used in order to interpose a review process for the price focus articles, because this is very important. And then in the solution itself, you can manage 3 whole product, 3 use cases for the whole product lifecycle. The first one is, you see on the top left, is called initial pricing. So when you have an own brand or you have a new product where you don't know which price you should take into account, you can put it in this use case and the algorithm gives you a feedback what price he recommends to start with. And then the next step is to have the regular pricing. You can put all your items in it, and the AI will calculate for the whole segment or for all your items the recommended price. As I told you, either automated or semi-automated. And markdown pricing, the last use case, is for let's say to optimize stock. When you have a big stock, you know the end date when you want to have it on zero stock, and you can put this end date into the engine, and the engine will calculate a price to get the stock until your date onto 0. And on the right, you can see some numbers. In fashion retail, we have a plus from 3 to 5% in the revenue, and also 1 to 4 percentage points. That's a difference in margin. And for the FMCG retail, we talk about round about 3 to 5% in revenue plus, and in margin we can increase 0.5 to 1 percentage points. So I told you I will bring 2 success stories with me. The first one is a pharmacy chain store called Sunnycare. They have many items, almost for them impossible to manage manually, because we're talking about over 650,000. They have a strong competitive pressure, and also the profit revenue optimization with an eye on the competition. So we have here a significant uplift in sales numbers, as you can see here, through a fully automated price calculation and execution on a daily basis. So we have over 10% plus in sales, almost 5% more revenue, and 4.4 percentage in margin. Exactly. And not just to show you the pharmacy case, we also have in fashion a success story with our good customer 11 Team Sports. They focus on soccer items, as you can see in the picture. They have also many items, but they have also another challenge. They have different prices for item sizes, so according to the stock level and demand. So they have but the same challenge. They have no focus on gaining margin on pre-OC items, because also here it would be too much manual work needed. And this is often the case. So what they did the markdown use case, as I showed you, to reduce the stock. And it could be summarized with the words, it's fast and successful here, because we had a really good POC and then started to go full in with the dynamic pricing solution. Right. Then we skip from dynamic pricing to the other, let's say, word. It's called personalization. Why do you need personalization? Of course, customers want to get satisfied with their customer journey when they shop in your store or also in your online shop. They want to get satisfied with personalized offers, personalized recommendations to improve the conversion, to increase also the customer share. And this is possible when you take all the touch points with your customers into account and give them an individual feedback on each touch point. Touch point, we're talking about newsletter, web shop, store, as I mentioned, the app integration, more and more. Every touch point you have with your customers. And important to say is our solution is in real time. And with real time, we mean under 15 milliseconds. So for the end customer who's sitting, for example, at the front of the laptop, he's not going to recognize that we calculated these recommendations just for him personalized. How we do that? We do it with the real-time tracking of the user behavior. That's important. We have an individual and real-time interaction with every single customer. The reinforcement and also so it's machine learning and reinforcement learning is to tailor the personalization strategy, KPI driven. And also, like the dynamic pricing solution, you will have here an intuitive web GUI with more than 20 algorithms, which can support you in your omni-channel strategy. And I have also here some numbers brought with me. For example, the fashion retail, you can have 8 to 10% at least revenue from recommendations. You can have also more. And this is a plus in 2 to 3% revenue overall. And for grocery, we have more than 25% more orders, and also in the customer share, a plus of 3 percentage points. Just to give you also here an example, what can you all personalized. You can start here with the navigation, personal recommendations in your web shop, the homepage, category page, search, wish list. I can go on and on. So as I said, every touch point, even in your only in your web shop, you can have a personalized offer for your customer. And this is targeted distributed content for printed materials and also in the e-news letter. For example, email identify most receptive customers, seamlessly display recommendations in the e-news or even in the printed version, as I told you. I will show you a good use case. How do we do that in the newsletter? For example, you receive a newsletter, and as I told you, when you open the newsletter, you will receive fresh calculated recommendations. Not fixed, they are fresh calculated when you open the newsletter. And this is based on automatic customer segmentation, based on behavior data. And then we have a identification of the target groups for the campaigns. Here, for example, shoes, shirts, and trousers. And the campaign management plans these 3 campaigns. But which customer is, or which customers are respective campaigns interesting? So the information from the customer history and the current behavior data can be used to identify the most relevant campaigns per user. And the engine analyzes this data. So you see the arrow, and it goes to the bubble, which is our solution. So the engine provides the respective customer IDs that are relevant for the specific campaign. And so the campaign management knows whom which campaign newsletter is to be sent. And not only that, the marketing measure, for example, recommendations and content, are also personalized on customer specific basis. So I will give you a quick intro into the success story of Douglas. Also here we had the challenge for the personalization one-to-one for over 160 or almost 170,000 items online and offline. And as you see on the right, there are the different touch points they have with their customer, and they implemented our real-time solution, the personalization solution with the real-time tracking, to offer their customers a personalized customer journey in the web shop and also in the newsletter. So, and as you can see here, for the results, we have a plus of revenue for more than 8%. And to give you also from grocery a success story, this is Coop. They wanted to increase their frequency per customer, and but they had more than, as you can see, 3 billion possible combinations. So they gave us all these data, and we combined with the algorithms and gave them product recommendations for their customers. So they put it also in the newsletter, and they did also a couponing, individual couponing for the customers. And the results are, we have more than 50% in the newsletter conversation. We have an increase of 25% in orders, and also at the A customers, a plus in 3 percentage points in the share. Yes. And to give you a typical project scope, how long do we need with you together to go live? So we start every time with a kickoff workshop where we talk about the project specifications. So you give us the input, what are your main goals, what are your challenges, and we give you a solution and also consulting. Then we go into the system. So it's a cloud service, as I told you. Then we have the implementation and the data analysis, the configuration of the business rules or the campaigns and personalization. Then, of course, we first test it before going live, that everything goes fine. And then we go live. And after go live, you will have still the project team from beginning to have a continuous support from our side. And we can manage this in pricing in, let's say, after 6 weeks. That was the fastest we did. And in the personalization world, we can talk about 4 to 5 weeks to go live, to have the first recommendation online in your store, in your app, in your newsletter, or somewhere else. So as I mentioned, this was just a high level to give you a short introduction. What can we do? We have a lot of more solutions. And as I said, if you want to have a deep dive in one of the solutions or both or more than the solutions, just send me an email. As you can see here, also Mr. Personalization has an own LinkedIn account, and his good friend called Mrs. Pricing has also a LinkedIn account. There you can be always up to date for the specific project or topic you want to have more information about. So thank you. This was it from my side, and I'm happy to get your questions now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Personalization. Very great use cases that you were showing there. Let me check if there are any questions. At this stage, seems there's no question, but Tommi will be available on the panel discussion as well, which we're going to have towards the end. So if you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A panel. He will surely be able to attend to the questions. Tommi, thank you so much again for that wonderful presentation. We'll take
Sincerely, I
a
don't know
1
if
minute
it's just
break.
me. You have a little bit
Yeah.
internet lag problems.
Okay.
Oh, he's
I
gone.
think probably. Because I think load shedding has kicked in on our side. So, I think that's why it's affecting our network. But we'll take a 1 minute break now, and we will join you in the next session. Thank you so much. Sorry, Tommi, before you go, I think there's a question here. I think, do we have learning material we could use to learn from? I think, yeah.
Do we have a learning training material we could use to learn from?
Yeah.
Depends what you want to learn. This an AI solution is, as I said, a complex topic. And so it would be, I think, more helpful if you say what you want to learn, and then we can see if we have a material for you that you can go into deep dive. But the other thing is also I can send you per mail, or we can share it here. We have, I think, all 3 weeks period, we have webinars in also in English. So you can go into the webinar and learn something there about personalization or dynamic pricing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Tommi, for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. We'll take a 1 minute break and see you now.